Ladies and gentlemen, bad news, but hopefully it won't affect you guys too much. I had a minor technical snafu, a minor technical foible, and now the visual footage, the gameplay footage of what is supposed to be this episode is gone. Straight up gone. I tried to get it back, I could not. It is gone. But what is not gone is my commentary from what is supposed to be this episode. So what I've done today, because I found out this morning, the day before this video is supposed to go up, is that I re-recorded all the story segments without commentary, just recorded the gameplay of it. Later on today, likely going to be doing this until like 2 in the morning because it's going to take a while and I have other things to do. I am going to painstakingly stitch the two things together despite the fact that the audio commentary was not made really for the gameplay footage that is going to be on screen, so it's going to be like trying to thread cable with boxing gloves, but I'm going to do it because, you know, I want part 10 to be good. But unfortunately, we're going to miss a couple things that I simply cannot replicate, and that is pulls, extraction pulls. And last time I did some stuff. This time, I made some big moves. The way I see it, right, we've gotten some new patrons recently, and the people who were already patrons have been doing just a bang-up job in supporting me, and all of you watching these videos support me as well, so I figure I'm not loaded. I'm really not loaded with money at all. I'm actually pretty poor. But why not why don't we channel a little bit of that back into making this hype, see if we can get N-Corp Sinclair, and roll into the dungeon with like an N-Corp squad, as many as we can get anyway. Why don't we, put some of that money back into making the series hype, and also back into Project Moon for giving us this. All of this, right? Let's do it, come on. I decided to set up an N-Corp team, and I did. As in, I have Uptie 3'd Don Quixote N-Corp, Heathcliff N-Corp, Rodia N-Corp. I also managed to pull on my first try, on my first 10 pull on targeted Sinclair extraction, the one who shall grip. He's a fucking Chad, by the way. He looks fucking awesome. And also uptied him to level 3. So I'm going to be showing you guys all those upties. Also, Ryoshu's uptie, which I believe was in this episode as well. So I'm going to be showing you that one too. But I also, because what I did was I bought like the 2000 lunacy thing, which gets you an additional 2000 on your first purchase. Cost me like 20 quid or so. So I did a bunch of other pulls as well, and I just need to remember what I actually got from that. Yeah, I got the Zwei Association Faust. I got nothing for Don Quixote, nothing for Ryoshu. I got the Middle Little Brother and Warp Corp level 2 cleanup agent for Mersault. I got nothing for Honglu, nothing for Heathcliff. I got Lobotomy Ego Sloshing for Ishmael, whatever the fuck that means. I got LCCB Assistant Manager for Rodia. I got nothing else for Heathcliff, Sinclair, sorry, I don't know why I get their names confused. For those of you wanting to keep track of my IDs, that's what I got. We're going to be covering as much as what happened in the real episode as is physically possible without it sounding out of context and ridiculous and not making any sense. I apologize once again for the technical foible. This seems to be happening to me a lot at the moment. 2 videos in a row which have had technical foibles. I hope the rest of this week goes more smoothly. This has been a horrible Monday. I hope you enjoy.
Warning, I swear a lot.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Limbus Company. I sure am excited to be doing another video with all of my favorite characters whose names I definitely remember, including Sangyi, Sauft, Condiote, Shioru, Sir Maltz, Longhe, Cliff Heath, Imshale, Dorian, Clinsair, Osit, and Regegor. That animation came courtesy of Obratak in response to the last video where I lost my shit because I couldn't remember Yisang's name. And yeah, it's pretty on point, honestly. So good job, Obratak. I'm glad you did that. Very happy about it. Dear new employees, everyone, I know that everyone's got to be tired of hearing this, but please stay focused during these loyalty training classes. The purpose of this class is to enhance your psychological readiness for battle. Click, clack. The table vibrated ever so slightly as the child shook her leg impatiently. Her trousers kept making that annoying brushing sound. What accompanied that was the sound of restless, irritated click-clacking of her ballpoint pen. I understand it can be a bit tiring, a bit boring, but let's try reading it out loud. Open page 3 of the new hire training guide. This is a reminder to all LCCB employees. We, the Before team, are assigned the paramount task of clearing the path before anyone else does. Every bloodied step, every flesh given becomes WOT. The child muttered with a sigh. Waste of time. She was clearly miffed about this waste of time. Yeah, I said that before it came up on screen. I did figure it out, I swear. It wasn't loud enough for the instructor to pick up, but it sure was loud enough for her colleagues to hear. How much longer do I have to suffer this drivel? I went along with it once or twice, but it's really starting to get on my nerves. Don't worry, teacher's pet Ishmael is here. Excuse me. Oh, actually, she's the assistant manager, so she really is the teacher's pet. Okay. Excuse me, can you pipe down a little? Another child sat beside this one. The expression of boredom was evident on her face as well, but she still went along with the lesson for some reason. It was an odd juxtaposition of dissatisfaction and compliance. Did I say anything wrong? Sacrifice ourselves for everyone else? Be proud of it? What a load of bull. What's so fun about suffering in others' stead? Sure, I can agree with some of what you said, but it's not like we work for fun. Better to just go along with it. I don't agree with anything you said. I work for fun. Yeah, okay. Good for you. The other child frowned and opened her mouth as though she wanted to add something before sighing and turning away. Oh, and while ammunition is a part of your standard issue gear, please refrain from using them unless absolutely necessary. You know how expensive they are. I thought, according to Ishmael's fucking Uptie 3 on the same subject, that the company actually had really good backers and we had plenty of ammo. So someone's lying to me. Remember, the more ammunition you save, the more extra pay you'll get. Well, that's straight up contradictory to what Ishmael's thing was. I know this came out later, so this is probably the reality. The child scoffed, but she knew that the other child had a point. She wouldn't be getting any interesting jobs if she got fired. Instead of continuing to sigh and complain, the child began chewing on her ballpoint pen. Hopefully that would make this waste of time go just a little faster. She kept waiting and waiting for a smoke break to arrive. She craved that thick, eye-watering puff of smoke. So here she was, leaving a trail of voluminous, eye-watering smoke in her wake. That shotgun is absolutely balling. Why doesn't it look that cool in gameplay? Smoke from the cigarette in her mouth? Sure. ... But there was also a trail of smoke coming from the shotgun in the child's hands. So here we are. Wowee. I can't even translate that one. Waiting overlong was worth it eventually. Ah, sure. There was no other sound than the metallic ch-check of the firearm, the light sound of plastic shell casing hitting the floor, and the sound of her military boots clacking against the ground. There was nothing else here. No new recruits, no teammates, no one. Frail pirate? Well, he is now. And now, no enemies. The child gleefully took a hit from her cigarette. What an entertaining predicament. Some things were taken from her, yet she'd also taken from them. Weaklings. All of them so-called superiors. Was that all they could manage with such a weapon? This great communicator? To be fair, it's running low on ammo, but it's decently useful as a blunt weapon. So he had to find some coordinates, huh? Bet they'll greet me with open arms if I return with the mission objective and body bags of my former superiors. Now they'll give me more interesting jobs in the future for sure. Wait, so did she just... Who is... well, you know what? It doesn't matter. The child grinned. All's well that ends well. She spat out the butt of the cigarette and made her way deeper into the building. Cool. I didn't know she even used a shotgun. It looked like some kind of fucking weird Ghostbusters plastic toy in gameplay. I didn't realize it was a fucking pump-action shotgun, which is awesome. Very good, very good. Okay, I think we're ready to begin. We've made our necessary preparations. Let's get back in there. Shit's fucked. Looks like we're fighting Guido next. Chroma walks inside the burning mansion. The sinners are dismayed by Guido's unflinching advance. He's a persistent boy, don't we know it? Last time on Dragon Ball Z. Heathcliff is like, yo, chill, bruh, it's fine. Sinclair leapt forth to chase Chroma before anyone could stop him. However, he's blocked by the remaining N-Corp Inquisitors. In response, he swings his weapon with a tremendous force I never thought he could exert, crushing the head of the one who grabbed him. The one who gripped, no longer. The Inquisitor collapsed to the ground before even a gasp could escape their mouth. Sinclair would normally keep to the back of our group. This was the first time I saw him charge in unprompted like that. He's pulling a Don Quixote.
뭐야? 너 이럴 거면 왜 여태껏 뒤에서 꿈지럭거렸냐?
I know, right?
본인은 그대들을 숨을 멎게 한 기억이 분명하게 있다.
If Sinclair flipped out during the N-Corp fight, we might have been able to actually... I don't know if we could have won, but we probably could have done a bit more damage.
두개골의 틈새로 흘러나온 뇌 조각을 똑똑히 보았다.
Guido, I think you're remembering it backwards. You see, we beat you. Don't know if you're remembering clearly. Clearly that helmet is on too tight. Clearly your 40k purity seals are clouding your memory. We beat you.
그러나 그대 이단들은 지금 땅을 밟고 본인의 앞에 서 있군.
I don't think you did.
오히려 터무니없이 멀쩡히 서 있는 건 그쪽 같은데.
I can't even remember if he landed a hit on us during his fight, and if he did, it wasn't very hard. Guido examines me closely with his piercing glare. Oh, so as far as story's concerned, he actually managed to kill some of us and then I just resurrected them. When in reality, in gameplay, I beat him flawlessly. Not flawlessly, but no one died. He then slowly nods as if his observation gave him the knowledge he needed.
귀하, 이단의 머리인 자여.
It's clock for say to you?
필시, 귀하가 신봉자들을 현혹시키고 있는 것이 틀림없군.
I could say the same for you. He proceeds to nudge his chin at the nailed corpses in the courtyard.
저자들은 불결한 몸으로 신성의식의 중심지에 침입을 하는 대죄를 저질렀다.
Uh-huh.
그리하여 이단과 동일한 처벌을 가했다.
A mild fine and a slap on the wrist.
스스로의 의지 없이 기계라는 이물을 몸에 틀어박은 치욕도 겪게 했다.
That's fucked. That's so fucked. That's such a strange thing to do.
하지만 그대들은 다르다.
Evidently, I am different, yes.
이단을 신봉하던 죄는 이단의 죄보다는 경하다.
I mean, sure.
하여 그대들이 참회하고자 하고 마음을 씻어낼 수 있다면 우리 망치는 그대들을 용서할 용의가 있다.
How gracious.
그러니 유혹을 마주한 불쌍하고 어리석은 죄인이여, 그 거짓된 기적을 뿌리치고 빠져나와 내 앞에 무릎을 놓이도록 하여라.
The confrontation came to a standstill. No one seemed willing to speak first. So you've all been under my spell or something all along. Who'd have thought that? I tried cracking a joke to lighten the mood a little, but no one laughed. Always embarrassing.
단테 씨, 저자의 말은 당신을 모욕한 거잖아요. 인간 취급도 안 하는 거라고요.
I mean, you guys call me Clockface all the time too.
그거랑 다르잖아요. 심지어 저는 그렇게 부르지도 않았.
Uh-huh. Ishmael grunted.
그럴듯한 말만 대충 질러버리면 다 되는 줄 아나 본데.
I mean, fancy words can be very strong.
빠져나와야 할 놈은 너야. 당연히. 머리가 멀쩡하게 달려 있는데도 그런 생각을 하냐?
Listen up, faceplate. Faceplate doesn't know what to say.
기회는 충분하게 제공하였다. 그대들 또한 매달리고 꿰뚫린 자들과 다를 바 없군. 나는 망치. 지는 자께 충성하여 이단의 몸을 꿰뚫는 대업을 맡는 도구.
You also like to talk a lot.
내 너희를 못에 꿰어 흙에서 가장 먼 곳에 위치하게 하리라. 죄를 참회하지 않는 자. 야, 그 개같이 긴 시비는 언제 끝나냐? 흙으로도 돌아가지 못하리라.
If you're gonna taunt someone, you gotta keep it succinct. The longer it goes on, the less impactful it is, unless you've got something really good in your head. Well, let's see how persistent he really is, except not yet, because he's sending other people to fight first, because that's what he always fucking does. Big words for someone who's not taking the lead on this fight, hey.
쓰러지겠네. 죽음으로
다음에 배를 날려주지. 두드려 패고 터뜨려주지. 아니, 타겟 무력화.
다 죽어라.
정화.
그 오물을 떼어내주지.
다 죽어라.
정화 하라 이랬나? 개소리.
이렇게 금방 따라갈 줄이야.
정화.
그 오물을 떼어내주지.
다 죽어라. 다 죽어라.
당연한 결과죠. 저는 선택받았으니까. 그렇겠죠?
Ground shook as Guido finally fell. I couldn't help but wonder if we really did him in, yet we were too exhausted to bother and take his helmet off to check his breathing. He finally killed someone. He finally actually killed one of us. Look at that. He managed to kill Heathcliff. Sinclair was repeatedly jabbing his spear into a dead Inquisitor. The corpse was mangled beyond recognition, its blood and organs spilling all over the floor. It was pretty funny.
싱클레어. 진정해.
You're totally morbing out, bro. He didn't seem to care about anything other than the body he was set out to destroy, and boy was he doing it. Occasional pants of rage and tearful gasps were all that came out of his mouth. No, Sinclair, we'll kill them all. I knew stopping him was the right thing to do, but no one dared to step in. Turns out he's actually pretty tough. It was evident that he was too blinded by ire to listen to us.
정신 차리게 하는 방법은 생각보다 참 간단하네.
Are we gonna get Virgilius over here to step on his shoulder as well? At that, Don Quixote suddenly jumped Sinclair and pinned him to the ground. Oh my god, she is actually using the thing that Virgilius did. And then she started laying into his face. Jesus Christ. Don, I think you took too much from that lesson. One fist thrown after the other.
이거 말려야 하는 거 아니야?
I mean, I could bring him back, so it's not a huge deal, but I have to admit, it is a bit off.
냅둬. 분내나는 싸움 따위.
A couple calves tussling. I mean, Sinclair doesn't look like he's tussling very much. A cloud of dust rose from her ruthless beating. After a while, Don Quixote cut her onslaught.
어떤가? 정신이 좀 드는가?
So, how do you feel? Probably worse, because he's blinded by rage and misery, and also he's had his face beaten.
미안하네. 나도
Just putting it out there.
흥분이 몸을 잠식하면 곱비름 말처럼 날뛰곤 했지. 그럴 때는
내 옛 친구들이 정신 차릴 때까지 나를 두들겨 패곤했다네. 그렇게 해야만 정신이 드는 때도 있는 것 같더군.
아하, 그러니까 베르길리우스 씨하고도 친구 관계라는 거죠?
Yeah, well, I mean, Vergilius didn't actually beat her senseless. He just kind of stomped on her a bit.
그게
Well, I don't think it worked on Sinclair very well. He looks pretty fucking sad. And his face is covered in blood. Tears plinked down from Sinclair's bruised eyes.
가만두지 않겠어.
Yeah, we'll get her for this, Sinclair, don't you worry.
우리 집으로 가서 그 개새끼한테 말똥을 쑤셔 넣을 거예요. 그런 다음에
Now's the time to work on your smack talk, buddy. What do you got? The rest of his sentence was overrun with pained sobbing. He'll get there, he'll get there, he'll get there. After a while of sniffling, Sinclair finally seemed to calm down as he put a hand to his face and started muttering.
전 하루아침에 모든 걸 잃었어요.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes.
그때는 저들이 못과 망치라는 이름을 내세우지도 않았고 저렇게 많은 인원으로 공공연히 다니지도 않았어요.
That's always how it starts.
하지만 언제부터인지
And then they get more confident.
자기들을 망치라고 하는 자들이 하나둘씩 마을에 들어서더니
됐어, 꼬맹이. 거기까지면 됐어.
Oh god, he's still battered even in the... Poor boy. Rhodia gently pat him on the back.
아직도 생각하곤 해요. 나쁜 꿈속에서 아직 깨지 못하고 있는 건 아닐까.
If only.
매일 아침마다 잠에서 깨서 눈을 뜨기 전에 항상 이번만큼은 익숙한 우리 집의 천장이 나오지 않아.
Isn't it more comforting to stare at the ceiling of the bus, though? After he said that, he broke into tears. It only made sense to wait for him to settle down. Sure. No point rushing him. A bad dream. We barely managed to defeat Guido, but Sinclair seems to be struggling to endure the immeasurable guilt weighing down on him. Unfortunate, however, there are many more people to fight, so... Who are these losers? Get them out of my sight. They bore me. The music in this canto is pretty fucking good, but then again, I've said that in every fucking canto, because all the music is pretty fucking good. I've been genuinely impressed. I can't remember what I said about the music in, like, when we were in the Black Forest, or whatever the fuck that place was. But I don't remember... I remember thinking that the music there was fairly generic, but it's definitely come along in leaps and bounds since.
불길 속으로
And someone mentioned, though I already did my research through the Darkest Dungeon mod list to confirm, that N-Corp Inquisitors are totally a modded enemy that you can download for Darkest Dungeon 1, so I'm definitely going to do that at some point. I was having some problems with Darkest Dungeon 1 on my computer like half a year ago or so, and I haven't tried since, but if I can get that working, I am planning on doing Season 2 of modded Darkest Dungeon. Which I'd be very excited to do, because I fucking love Darkest Dungeon 1. Did I say Darkest Dungeon? I said Season 2 of Darkest Dungeon 1. I always want to do more Darkest Dungeon 2, but, you know, point is, I've got plans for that game, and I definitely want to... I want to beat all of the current content in Limbus first, because if there are Limbus and Project Moon mods there for me to play with, I want to grab them. But I don't want to go looking too hard for mods in case I find shit that's spoilers. So I want to beat this and then go over there and have a look at what's there. So if you happen to be a modder and you're thinking of making a mod for Darkest Dungeon 1 based on Project Moon stuff, if you start working on it now and get it done and then let me know, maybe I'll fucking you put it in the video because it will be hype. And I would want it in there anyway, so... Just something to keep in mind. It's funny, because some people in the comments mentioned that, like, oh yeah, back in the day when Canto 3 first came out, like, you know, there were less IDs to choose from, less options, as it were, for dealing with enemies, plus later IDs, you know, are a lot stronger. Like, they've done their best to combat power creep, but it is still kind of a thing. And, you know, some people didn't do what I did, in which they kind of delay their story progress. They would just gun to go through all of the story as quickly as they could, whereas I'm taking my time because I'm only doing story progress on camera. And all this is basically the reason why back in the day people really kind of struggled with Kanto 3. And I say, guys, it's okay that you were just not very good at video games and I'm much better at them than you are. It's okay, it's fine, it's not your fault you can't read. Despite the fact that it is painfully obvious that I am joking, that is still gonna piss off a lot of people. You should have seen it during the Ruiner series, man. People hated it when I did well. They did not like it. They wanted me to do bad so they could laugh. But sometimes I actually did genuinely well, and you should have seen the soul. The fucking soul. That's not what's happening here, let me be clear, I'm just making a joke, right? I do believe people when they say that, like, yeah, Kanto 3 used to be a lot more difficult with more limited resources and less knowledge, and I've been given a lot of knowledge by you guys, which I greatly appreciate, and I attribute that to my general success in Kanto 3. And Kanto 3's not over yet, I might still fuck up. Let's not get it twisted. Oh, guys, for those of you who weren't there, fuck did they get salty. I was always like, yeah, well, you did this one thing not optimally, and I was like, grow up, fucking hell. Jesus Christ. Can't just say, well done, Foreman, you did a good job. No. They were physically incapable. So fucking sad. Yet I shall forge a vow with thee. The child has held a dream from before she wore her blood-stained armor. If there was such a thing as a judge in the city, this child wished to be the one to swing a hammer of judgment to evil, to deliver justice just like a judge's gavel. Shoeing to nail those who have so defiled themselves with vile appendages. The child also had a good knack for setting her mind to reading, which then grew into a habit of constantly mumbling when she's not peering into something. Aha, so the reason we pierce the evil with nails be to utilize them as tools so the one who grips might enact justice. The child's eyes gleamed as she exclaimed this, though the light was rather murky, there was still a spark to be seen. The break is over, all metal hammer and climb hammer form the ranks. 'Twas another fruitful respite to be able to ingest the sayings of the one who grips in repose. I could not ask for better treatment. The child stood up with a refreshed expression, leaning against a hammer larger than herself. Third hammer, march forward 2 blocks, clean the streets. I shall meet your expectations, justice will prevail. Oh, even the more experienced hammers were growing weary of the non-stop campaigns of purification, but this child didn't appear tired at all. On the contrary, she overflowed with vim, sprinting ahead at a stunning speed as soon as the order was made. Is that the one, the rumored hammer who has never once eaten the canned provisions? And you know what's more? She hasn't been subject to a single discipline session ever since she was a Kleinhammer. That does surprise me. Watching the child gallop into the distance with a cloud of dust, the 2 hammers conversed. As much as faithfulness is a virtue, she certainly is an odd one. You don't say. Do you happen to know why she keeps her boots on during breaks? You mean to suggest that the rumors are true? That she wears a pair of running shoes underneath, so it's a hassle to remove them? She states they're her comrades to bring about justice together. Well, I let her be, as the one who grips did not order me to punish such behavior. They didn't have much more to say after that. They had never seen another recruit that became so absorbed in the doctrine without receiving any discipline or canned experiences. It must have put them off. Perhaps it is fortunate that that's what it took for them to be adverse. Oh boy. The poor fellows facing the child had no chance to articulate an impression. Help me. Lo, a heartless vessel of tin speaks, haha! Torn flesh sounded out, and a massive blunt instrument buffeted the air. I can detach this, I'm... Now gashes, lacerations, ruptures, and bruises. Nay, an evildoer's words cannot be trusted! Why evil... Juicio! It was as if every kind of wound and noise could be found in that space. Pandemonium must be an apt description for this sight. Some say the scariest people are those who believe that they're always in the right. There must be some truth to that. Perhaps the child just wanted to believe what she wanted to believe. Goddamn. No one should turn Don Quixote into a weapon, it's scary. This is not what I'd hoped for. I didn't know what I was getting into. Yeah, this sounds right. I wanted to do better. What Kathy said that day jabbed my heart through and through. So I ran out, swearing down that I'd never go back. This should be enough, we'll head back. How did I get myself caught up in all this? You there, Kleinhammer, which is like a small hammer or something. Ah, sir. Didn't you hear what I just said? We're heading back, follow me. What's the deal with that odd-looking nail? There's some kind of transparent needle at the center and it starts filling with something when it's jabbed into a person. It's like human... What thought are you occupied with? It's nothing, sir. Today is a day of ritual. You should rid yourself of any distracting thoughts in advance. You should be thinking about nails. Lots and lots of nails. Them and their bloody ritual. They've got the crackers if they think they're gonna make me memorize phrases from that headache-inducing book. Then they'll feed me some sort of white porridge out of a crummy can. Feels like my memories slowly blur and melt together whenever this happens. Now the chant, heretics shall be purged. Huh? What did I just say? Ooh. It's interesting in some cases, because like you can see, you could understand like Sinclair being basically manipulated into joining N-Corp and being a part of it. And I could see Rogia having her like, her general mindset being, her energy for it as well, her passion being just pushed in a different direction. But how the fuck does Heathcliff end up here? It's absurd. Splendid. Simply splendiferous. How fortunate is the world to have such a wonderful person, the one who grips. No, how unfortunate is the world to be plagued with so many defects pretending to be human. Ah. Meeting the one who grips opened my eyes. I had been living a blasé life, ignoring those foul stenches prevalent in the streets. The voice of the one who grips upturns my foolish thoughts and cultivates the right mindset. Ever since my first calling as a hammer, it was the voice of the one that soothed me with each swing. Ah, why was I ever scared to destroy the impure? Why didn't I notice sooner that those impure beings are tainting the soil they trample on? That's when I realized. My beautiful hometown wasn't safe from those defiled heretics who roam freely without a hint of shame. On my first week of becoming a Mittelhammer, I pleaded to the one who grips that I wished to right the degenerate future of my dear home. The one who grips had blessed me with a merciful smile, as always. You may do so. Ah, I knew it. I must be the chosen one. Wow, I've got at least 2 chosen ones at this point. That night, many towers were made out of Backstreet's dwellers. Oh boy, she's been corrupted in a bad way. Oh, sorry, those who were heretics to be exact. To see them pierced and hung far from the earth, it brought me such joy. Why, I could just kiss the cleansed soil of my dear hometown. That's probably the worst corruption we've seen so far. Rodia is completely ruined in that reality. Goddamn. Oof. Okay. The one who grips Faust. God, we really need that for this, don't we? There's no way I can make it happen, but oh man. Sinclair. A soft and gentle voice envelops the area. Look this way, Sinclair. The voice is rapping, perhaps coiling even. Alas. Isn't this a magnificent sight? The laughter of the one standing next to the child completely twisted the air like a hair-raising shriek made by 2 sharp pieces of metal scraping against each other, then flicking away. Examining the area closely, one could see that it was surrounded by raging knife-like flames. How does it feel, Sinclair? How does it feel to witness this sight ablaze? It's 2 people with prosthetics burning. Her voice could even be described as manic, her wry smirk more twisted than the fire around her. Ah. That is when the child opened his mouth. His lips trembled, his lungs brought up gasps and huffs. Could this be a response of fear? Indeed, it may seem that way. The child most certainly had something that one could call a chance. He could have hatched out of the shell that is fate with his own strength and gripped control over the path his life should take. And yet... It's beautiful, Faust. Beautiful to look at those vile and repulsive things being purged. It's not so easy to reject the ease of letting another crack the egg from the outside. Even if they aren't your mother bird. Even if they wrest hold of your path and jostle it. That disquieting flame, almost mistakable for warmth, lures you into giving up your strength before it like a comforting bonfire. Why didn't I let go earlier, Faust? I didn't need to bother trying to think or ponder so much when there was a clear answer laid right before me. The child spoke with a trembling voice, whimpering on the verge of tears. Pushed out of his nest all too soon, feigning the confidence he sorely lacks. A baby bird who hasn't even broken his shell fully. That would be the description most befitting this child. Not just anyone can be like Faust, Sinclair. God, that sounds like Faust. However, it's alright. I don't know what that noise is. The child with silver hair spoke, pointing to the sky. Up above, something muttering indistinct mechanical noises was skewered to a nail. Ah. The child's pupils further shrink while his trembling grows yet more intense. It was painfully evident that he did not wish for what he was witnessing. Despite him knowing this as well, he has decided that he will be ignorant of it. Despite still thinking that what he is doing isn't right, he cannot resist the convenience of letting his mysterious mother bird bring him food. A pink chick who does nothing but gape and swallow. Having dived into a pot of boiling oil, the child had no choice but to flutter with his melting arms. Though, by the time the fire dies down, he'll have been reduced to ash. Haha. The child laughed. Congratulations, Sinclair, now you've become someone who can laugh at that sight. The one standing next to the child celebrated him with sincerity. In truth, she was lauding her own achievement more than anything. If there really were possibilities diverging into numerous worlds, she had managed to mold the child into a form one of those worlds must envy. It may even be that someone from another world has already been infatuated by a glimpse of the changing and charring child. Soon enough, that world too will face a storm of fire, oil, and sparks. The child there will face a similar yet distinct trial. Now let us begin, Sinclair, the cleansing of this world. Oh, he looks so cool. The child weeps amidst the fire. He shall ultimately be snuffed out in flame, unceasingly swinging the steel in his two arms and failing to grip anything in his hands, unable to tread the path he chose. Whether he will break the shell from inside or instead yield himself to the ease of being gripped open. What happens in that world will stay there. Though, if you ask which world will be the first to reach that point, who could ever know? Damn, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. That was a pretty good one. That was a pretty good one. Oh, I like that one. That was pretty good. That was worth 20 quid. We entered the charred mansion and Sinclair led us to the basement. When he opened the door, a long underpass leading to an unknown destination was revealed to us. To think there'd be a tunnel down here. Turns out the golden bow is beneath Sinclair's house. Who'd have thunk it?
아마 제 짐작이 맞는다면 이 통로가
Yup.
로보토미 집으로 이어지는 통로일 거예요.
So did you know there was a Limbus facility underneath your house?
지하실에 대체 왜 이런 수상한 통로가 있는 거야?
I mean, he didn't build it.
원래는 없었어요.
Ah.
뭐? 그럼 우릴 어떻게 알고 지하실로 안내한 건데?
He didn't know. He just keeps his Pokemon cards down here and he wanted to pick them up.
나침반이 북쪽 방향에 이끌리듯이 그냥 느낌으로 알 수 있었던 것뿐이에요.
You were brought here by the bow. Mm-hmm.
그거 아니었나요?
Isn't it?
저희를 가지를 향한 나침반으로 쓰려고 데리고 다니는 거.
Evidently. Sinclair quietly looked at Faust. Instead of answering him, she strode past him and stood before the door. Very cool, Faust. Well done.
재질을 보아하니 비교적 최근에 만들어진 것 같군요.
Yup.
아마 N사의 파견원들이 이곳을 점령하며 만들어 놓았겠죠.
Not only do they want to massacre the locals, they also want the golden bow for reasons probably to do with Herman. Is it Herman? Is that her name? I can't remember.
짧은 길은 아닐 거예요. 그들만을 위한 통로인 만큼 적들을 마주칠 가능성도 다분하겠죠. 준비되었으면 출발하죠. 그렇게 쳐다보지 마세요, 단테.
I can't give you a look. I don't have a face. It's clock for say, goddammit.
저는 아무 말도 할 수 없을 뿐이에요.
Uh-huh. Surely someone of such staggering intellect shouldn't be one who just follows orders. think TN would be a better clasher. Could be wrong, but that's my opinion. I'm allowed to have a wrong opinion. There we go, most of my ideas were pretty good. Most of them. Not all of them. I recognize my failings. Oh, he dared. He didn't wait for Green Man on Sin, now he dared. Your nails don't do shit and you're a loser, and also, your bucket helmet makes you look like you have a fat head. Face plate. Thank you, Ishmael, for being the punctuation at the end of my sentence. That's a full stop. Get it? I actually did a clever joke. It wasn't that clever. God, stop, they're already dead. Bonk. Fuck your ribs. And your face. Oh yeah, get him. Oh, you're gonna get him. Yeah, you're gonna get him. Yeah, you're gonna do the thing I like. Use oof, because it's funny. You'll probably kill that guy. I look forward to it. Better idea. See, he's dead. That's pretty cool. Oh, we don't get to see the shotgun shot, though. Oh my god. Such a tease. Fuck off. Well, that doesn't really suit me. The branch facility we entered was not as well preserved as the one we had visited in District 4. Yeah, I can tell. It seems N-Corp's Inquisitors have been using this place as their base for a while. Various torture devices and bits of flesh and machinery, like those we saw in town, came into my sight. You're pleading to the wrong people.
유저가 고통을 논하는군.
Yeah, about that.
필시 거짓 아픔일 것이다. 신경 쓸 건 없다.
Really?
아니야, 정말 아파. 아프다고요.
It seems pretty real.
불순물을 몸에 붙일 때는 아프지 않았는가? 인간이기를 그만두는데 마음이 소리치진 않았는가?
I don't think they thought about it that much, probably because it's not a big deal, buckethead.
그만. 이자가 참회를 하기엔 이미 늦었다. 보아라, 눈물도 흘리지 않지 않는가? 거짓 고해라는 것이다.
The absence of tears. It's just salt water leaving your face. It's not whatever.
아니야, 눈물 흘릴 수 있어. 그러니까 제발.
확인하지 않을 필요까지는 없지 않겠는가?
Maybe we should run in and do something. I don't know. Yeah, surely you should be verifying.
물론 거짓 없는 울음은 인간성을 의미할 테니.
Oh, this is gonna be sad, isn't it?
감사합니다. 정말 감사합니다.
You better start crying, buddy.
자, 그대의 눈을 들추어 보겠다.
Oh god.
눈물샘마저도 추악한 불순물로 몸에 붙인다고 하니 직접 보지 않으면 신뢰할 수 없다.
Vile devices that mimic tear gland. Oh my god.
그대의 눈을 뽑아 그 자리에 살이 들어차 있다면
Oh no.
주도록 하지.
뭐? 안 돼. 안 돼.
Oh no. Yeah, we gotta do something about this perhaps now. Yes, good. Yes, good. Yes, good.
이단은 벌레와도 같군.
You're not even surprised that Rhodia just axed your mate in the back of the head?
홀로 자리하지 않고 끊임없이 대업을 방해하는 것이 아주 흡사하도다.
I think you'll find that we're way better N-Corpers than you are. Rhodia shrugged when I looked back.
왜? 이번엔 나도 한번 나서보고 싶었어.
I respect it. I mean, you took charge in the last canto. What are you talking about? The Inquisitors have transformed this branch facility into a torture chamber for prosthesis users, committing blood-curdling murders. The townsfolk were powerless against such torment. It's time to get in there and do some bodying. Sinclair looks fucking sick. Wow. Love it. SP's gonna be a real problem in this dungeon, isn't it? Obviously, I'm not gonna finish the dungeon today, so I'm sure people will have, you know, insight to be like, hey, maybe play this character this way and do this that way. Lemon's gonna have his fucking hands full. I've gotten a lot of new identities today. Oh, you poor boy. Have fun. Lamau.
타겟 무력화.
뭐야? 그새 제법 싸우는 폼이 발전했는데요.
Oh no, we found, was it Sard? I think this is Sard. A faint voice calls to us from the corner. She could be doing worse. She's doing better than Effie from the looks of it. Sword was resting against the wall, exhausted. She was covered in bites and gnawings left by the picatula. Why?
괜찮으세요? 일어설 수 있으시겠어요?
Can you easily stand up? You look like you can. You seem fine. I don't see a problem. Sword could barely talk, let alone stand on her feet. She slowly began to speak, each word filled with pain.
에피는 어떻게?
He got a few prosthetics. Yeah, he's doing great.
살아있죠? 밖에서 만났죠?
Everyone is hesitant to answer Sword's desperate question. How could any of us inform her of the morbid state Effie was in and how he had to put him out of his misery?
네, 살아있어요.
Well put. Honglu answered quietly, surprisingly tactful. No sinner came forward to elaborate.
잡담은 그만하지. 또 그 이상한 것들이 기어오는 듯하니.
Well, let's fuck him up then. A swarm of Picatula approached us. It was as though our guilt about lying to her had gained physical form. I mean, Honglu didn't lie, technically. He is better now than he was. The tone has shifted dramatically. Like, the music is still the same, but because the dialogue of our sinners is so much more fucked, I guess, for lack of a better term, like they're so much more unstable, I guess, it changes the tone dramatically. Like, these guys are not okay. I mean, Ryoshu's fine. She's fine. She ain't got no problems. It really, just something about this really does just change how I look at it. Like, ooh, it's a little more intense. I don't know, something about it. Very creepy. Surely Mersol has an N-Corp identity, surely. Unless technically that identity is this world, but then again, it would be a case of there was a world or a universe where he never left N-Corp, where he bought into it. I may have overleveled these characters, but it's worth pointing out that presumably the enemy levels will go up. They will get stronger as time goes by. I still hold out hope for an N-Corp team. I need to get the one who grips. I'm not gonna spend money on getting it though. Let me be clear. I only spend the money to get the Sinclair one because I knew there was a targeted extraction and I was like, we've got a pretty good chance in the grand scheme of things of getting what we wanted. I was still very lucky though. That is the only reason I spent the money, is because I was like, look, I know it's Sinclair targeted extraction right now. You see a large gate in the distance. There's something eerie about the pointed fences and stone walls. It looks to be the only way through this area, but it's guarded by a large number of Inquisitors. Is there anything we can do about them? Confront them directly. Let's go. Sometimes the simplest solution is best. Separating a sinner from our group to attempt some silly trick might end up putting us at a disadvantage. Let's face them head on. I'm not going to spend money on trying to do standard extraction to try and get the one who grips. That is not going to work, and I'm not going to try anymore. And maybe there's a way I can go through, like, the dispensary and try and get it through there. I don't know. But I will probably spend any lunacy I get on trying to get the one who grips through standard extraction, but I'm not going to spend real money on it. I did it for the purposes of getting Sinclair, and we did that. That's done. I know Lemon's covered, N-Corp Don Quixote, because I got it ages ago, and probably Roger as well, and Heathcliff actually, but I can't remember what they say. I'll need to go over it between this episode and the next one. Good God, I over-leveled. Level 30 was too high. I actually feel kind of bad. It's actually horrific how little a chance they stand. The one who shall grip is so fucking cool. Sinclair is incredible in this form. Absolutely insane. I absolutely adore it. So fucking cool. I can't, there's nothing I can do but other than just sit here in awe. Oh my god. Oh. 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 It's really vicious. It's just, they don't stand a chance. And through it all, you really do get the impression that Sinclair is just a step above the rest of them. Now, he is a triple O. I don't know what the actual term for is for that, and I don't care. But he is a triple identity. Like, he's a really good one.
휘청거리는군.
불길 속으로.
죽음으로 참여하라.
타겟 무리.
죽음으로 참여하라.
I heard that familiar yet ominous sound of a nail being dragged across the floor from not too far away.
관리자님, 앞으로는 확인 사살을 기본 전투 계획에 넣는 것이 어떠신지 건의드립니다.
I agree. You know when Sinclair was stabbing the heck out of that corpse? Maybe he should have been stabbing the heck out of Guido's corpse. The thought of his return makes what hair I have stand on end.
이단은 말살되어야 한다.
He's clearly he's a little battered, you know. Ow, my arm. How long have you been... Guido approaches at a slower gait than before, but his gaze is firmly fixed on me.
그리고 나머지는 정화한다.
He is persistent. I needed to rewind the clock. Most of the sinners were either dead or gravely injured. That's not even remotely true. Everyone's fine. There was no way an effectively non-combatant manager and someone barely holding on to her life could take him.
멈추세요.
Well, Sword's gonna die here and take down Guido with her, I assume. Just then, Sword pulled out a gun! She pointed the barrel at me.
움직이지 마시길 바랍니다.
I need you to... I need you to keep still.
그 시계를 돌리는 순간 제 총이 그대로 머리를 꿰뚫어 버릴 거예요.
Okay, but why? Sword?
그렇게 쳐다봐도 저한텐 안 들려요. 하지만 말해드릴게요.
Yeah?
당신을 없애는데 협조하면 에피는 살려서 보내준다고 했어요.
But Effie's already dead.
시간을 지나치게 오래 끌었다.
Probably. Guido comes to me and grabs me by the neck. That's also my face. My clock for say. Let go, please. Then he grips my head tightly with his other hand as if to crush it. He has become the one who grips. Seriously, my entire team is fine. We absolutely bodied them. We had no trouble whatsoever. Creaks, cracks, and rattles ring inside my head. His fingers being inches away from shattering my head terrifies me. Is this it? Is this how I die? Could this have turned out differently if I was a better manager? Yeah, probably. I mean, you know, gameplay me managed to coordinate a successful fight. Why did story me fail? I remember Heathcliff menacingly asking if there was a way to open up my head so he could see what's inside. I bet he's happy now. Tough luck, Heathcliff. You'll be missing out on a good show. I heard a sound. It was the sound of something breaking. Fortunately for me, it was not my face. It didn't come from my head. Sinclair, my boy. The one who shall grip. Guido staggers. A nail was lodged in his back, and Sinclair was gasping for air behind him. He was nearly unconscious, lying still until moments ago. It's a miracle that he managed to get up and do this. I could escape Guido's grasp thanks to him. But Guido stood firm despite Sinclair's desperate attack. He collected his breath and slowly turned around.
그렇군. 그대 또한 이단이라는 것이군.
He's the one who shall grip.
너희들 다 미쳤어. 제정신이 아니야.
I mean, they are.
진행자께서 말씀하셨지.
Oh, good, another speech.
그대도 또한 진행자일 수 있었다고.
It's funny you should say that.
그러나 쉬는 방향이 잘못되었군.
That doesn't make any sense. Sinclair, run away. I can't. I'm unable to revive you. You might actually die.
아니요. 이제 안 도망쳐요.
Alright, then blindside him with your halberd while he's not looking.
좋은 대답이네요, 싱클레어 씨.
I hope so. Gunfire filled my ears. But the bullet struck Guido's head. I've been shot. Oh, bother.
스스로 멸망에 이르는 자들이여.
Well, it seems like we've only brought ruination upon you. Huh.
망치는 계속해서 그대들을 쫓을 것이니.
Well, you won't be able to pursue us if there aren't any of you left. You know? I'm gonna be very thorough in this dungeon. With those words, Guido fell to the floor, motionless, again. And in that hush, I heard her handgun drop to the floor. Sword, why did you threaten me with a gun?
에피는 역시 죽었죠?
Yes, he is, very much so. We made sure.
당신들은 허술해요. 거짓말을 하려면 좀 그럴듯한 표정이라도 짓던가요.
I knew we should have got Gregor to lie to her. Gregor's an excellent liar.
소드 씨, 얼른 나가자고. 지혈 좀 하고 그러면은 괜찮을 거야.
See, look at him being a terrible liar.
맞아요. 제가 지혈대를 챙겨.
You'll need multiple.
무슨 말을 하는 거예요? 제대로 움직이기도 힘든데.
Yet you managed to fire a gun.
더군다나 저 신문관들은 계속 올 텐데요. 당신들은 계속 내려가야 하잖아요.
We can take him.
제가 여길 맡을 겁니다. 먼저 가세요.
I thought you said you could barely lift a finger. How are you gonna lift a gun?
어떻게 그래요?
I think she is, though.
제대로 움직이기도 힘들다면서요. 그래서는 어떻게 뒤를 맡기겠어요? 네?
Just come with us. It'll be fine.
저기 이럴 땐 그냥 고개 끄덕이고 잽싸게 넘어가면 되는 거랍니다.
Yeah, well, we're bad at our jobs. I don't know if you've noticed, but it's true.
격 떨어지게 남은 사람 걱정을 왜 하는 거예요?
그치만
이거 진짜 구질구질한 장면인 거 알아요? 기껏 멋있는 구도가 잡혔잖아요.
We don't do cool farewells in this world.
파우스트, 얼른 이 멍청이들 데리고 가줘요.
Please take these dorks out of here.
베르길리우스 씨한테는 안부 전해드리죠.
Finally.
남부는 무슨
Nah.
인사나 한번 와달라고 해주세요. 무슨 뜻인지 알죠?
네.
I don't. We headed for the next area, leaving Sword to die. We all stayed silent for a long while. Yeah, I imagine. Yeah, probably. That seems about right. Sinclair's determination to stand up to Chroma after 3 strokes have been drawn. That is all we have time for today, ladies and gentlemen, because I straight up just don't have enough time. But next time, we will beat this dungeon. I can't imagine it's that long, and we're accidentally kind of barreling our way through it. I suspect we're a little bit over-leveled. Whoopsie doodle. Terribly sorry, but I wanted to make sure we were ready, and I wanted my N-Corp team to do good. And boy, have they been. They've been doing good. Big damage. Oh boy. Smashing their way through. They all have blunt damage. It works quite well. Like I said before, next time we start, I'm going to try a standard extraction probably, because I want to see if I can get the one who grips. Can I get that in like dispense? Oh, right. Well, I've got a job to do, haven't I? Oh my god. It would appear I have multiple jobs to do, huh? Okay, interesting. Where's my inventory? I need to have a look at some things. Yeah. I see you go shards of random sinners. Okay, very nice. That's specific sinners. Okay. I have 57 of Faust and I need 400. So, oh god, I don't know how I'm gonna do that. I've already forgotten what Faust looks like. It would be really nice if they attached the name to those. It's this one. Okay, cool. 38. That's oh god, I've not even got a quarter of what I need to get that dispensed. Oh, jeez. Okay, well, all I can do is continue to do my fucking dailies, and yeah, there's some there, and there's some there. Okay, do my dailies. Do my Dante, do your daily. Dante, do your dailies. Dante, do your dailies. Dante. That's all I've got for time for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Special thanks to Harrick J, Draft, Dresso, Aiden Kelly, Sion Distance, Lol, Final Legend, Etherabin, Linky, Zeon Cedar, Bimblewart, Mashoko, Myman, Alkia, Honeydew Corporation, Sweet Baby Red, Lord Scullington, Jess Kitty, Plutonian Pie, Dreamer Ghost, Leper Lullaby, K-Bub, Magic Cow, The Frostbite, Monsoon, Warmaster Oku, SCP-106A, and Namad for supporting me on Patreon. Thank you so much, guys, and thank you all so much for watching. It's been a thing. We didn't get as much done as I'd have liked to, but it was always going to be awkward because typically, unless we start an episode with being in the dungeon, we're probably not going to beat it in the same episode because they take a while. and it's quite a time endeavor, and it's also quite exhausting, typically. So yeah, there's that. But, you know, we're making our way through, and we got to see a bunch of upties as well. Learning more about N-Corp was interesting, and the sort of mindset that the sinners in those respective universes have. That was pretty fucking cool and terrifying. Don Quixote was especially terrifying. Goddamn, and so is Sinclair. I really want to get the one who grips desperately, because there's gotta be some insight there, and she's gotta be quite powerful as well. Especially if the game is making a point of being like, you know, front and center. Here she is, right? Like, Jesus Christ. Clearly quite important, so I want to get that. I doubt I'll be able to get it for next time, but I guess I'll do my best. Unlikely though. But whatever happens next time, I hope I see you there. Toodles, goodbye.